Hey, welcome to another episode of Play With Your Dick, Not Me. This is your host, Sadie, aka Capricorn Clark. Sorry, that was like low energy I came in with, huh? What are we on, episode 5? I apologize. I came, and you could probably hear my kids in the background too, sorry. Sorry, not sorry, because I'm glad they're in the background playing and having fun. I went back and forth for the past 45 minutes on whether I even wanted to record an episode, because I'm not all there, I think, energy wise, mentally and emotionally. There's been things going on, like not too catastrophic, just a lot. I lost somebody that was close to me. She had been in my life I met her in 2023, we'll say. 23. Yeah, so about 3 years. She was a resident of mine. That's how we met. She was living on a property that I managed, and she wanted to move to the property where my leasing office was. And we pretty much bonded as soon as we met. She had all the reason in the world to be rude to me, because she should have been frustrated by the time I came along, because she had already had like 2 managers before me, put her concerns and stuff to the side. She had been wanting to move over to the property that I was at. I can't remember her reasons behind it other than wanting her own place, because she had lived with her son at the time. But she was always just so nice and so appreciative and gracious, and I kind of came into a shit show when I started at that property, and she was patient and believed me when I told her I was going to get her in and into her new apartment on the property I worked on. And from there, we just, developed a close bond. She treated me like I was her daughter. She was like a much older lady, just so sweet. She would come in almost every day to check on me and talk to me and see how I was. And she loved my kids. She had them call her grandma. She was just, an amazing person. And when I left that job, she was a constant in my life, calling me and texting me every day to check on me, because she knew that I was struggling. I loved working at that job. I didn't particularly like the company. The company was good until it wasn't. But I loved working at that job, and I loved the people that I worked with, and I loved my residents. And so I thought that job was going to be my forever job. And so I already have a hard time not working. I kind of go into like a depression. My self-worth, for whatever reason, is very much tied to if I'm working or not. And I don't know where I got that from, because I didn't grow up with like a female role model that worked all the time. Like, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, which in itself is absolutely still a job. But what I mean is, I never saw a woman leave the house on a day-to-day basis to go to a job. The man that raised me did. So, I don't know if that's just where my work ethic comes from, or the fact that I'm a Capricorn sun. So, we're already naturally hard workers and stuff, and driven, and very much tie our identity to, working. But, I don't know. But, and then like, my stepmom didn't really work. Like, she worked when I was like in high school, but by then I wasn't, by the time she came into my life, I wasn't looking for a female role model to look up to anymore. So I didn't really pay much attention to what she did or care that much either. Honestly, I think the only thing that she taught me, or I took with me into adulthood, was the term labor of love. And she would get up in the morning with my dad, even though she didn't have to go to work. She would get up in the morning with him, so he, wasn't sitting up by himself getting ready for work. And I always admired that. And I did do that for many years for Tiger. When I was a stay-at-home mom, it was just easier to do. But when I work myself, I have a harder time doing that. Like, I gotta sleep and I have to get up and get ready for work too. Like, our schedule nowadays, like when he's on day shift, like his alarm goes off at like 5:40. My alarm goes off at 6. So, and even if I did get up, he's spending the majority of that time in the bathroom. And so by the time he gets out, he has to leave and then I have to get ready. So, but it definitely worked out and made sense when I didn't work to like get up with him and make his lunch and just sit with him on the couch until he had to leave. So, but anyways, what else? The property management company I work for, they're not originally based in Utah. We were the only property in Utah, and then we just did a grand opening, and so we had the ribbon cutting for our second property about 2 weeks ago. So a few of my supervisors and HR came out for that, and so we went out. That was fun. So it was nice to see everybody because everybody lives somewhere else. So it's nice when everybody, can come in. Well, not everybody was able to come, but it's nice when they come into town so we can spend time with them. So, yeah. Yeah. I think that was really it. But like the grief of losing Shauna, that resident I became close with, even after I stopped working for that property management company, like that's occupied me a good part of the beginning of February. I spent like a whole week and a half not letting myself feel, not letting myself cry. And my therapist had actually asked me like, are you going to cry about it? Do you plan to? And I'm just like, I just don't want to right now. Like, I'm all cried out. I am exhausted. I have cried more than I ever have in my entire life, the past 2 years of my life. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, but it did eventually hit, and I had to, feel that grief. And so, but yeah, she was a sweet lady and she will be missed. And, that person that used to be my friend that I was really close to, I had actually met this person at that job, and Shauna was close to both of us. She was like a mom to both of us. She loved and cared about both of us. So to not be able to talk to this person about that and her passing and like grieve with them or just reminisce on the times we both knew Shauna, that hurt too. That was hard too, to not just have the freedom or privilege to just call them up and, be able to sit in that together. But it's fine. But yeah, other than that, I am doing good. I hope everybody had a really good Valentine's Day. Tiger and I'm sorry, I realize I do that a lot. I say and like a lot. And I go back and I've started to go back and listen to episodes lately, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, if that's annoying the shit out of me, that's got to be annoying other people. But and that too, but oh, sorry. Well, Tiger and I haven't really celebrated Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day yet, because he had to work that weekend. So we are just going to do something at the end of the month. I like ordered like balloons and rose petals and candles and stuff. So I'm excited. I did recently do a boudoir photo shoot, actually. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I didn't think that I would enjoy it as much as I did. She probably thought I didn't enjoy it because I was just very like kind of timid and quiet and nervous, and I did have some anxiety, but I did have a good time, and I would absolutely want to do that again. Like, and I just remember in my mind trying to remember all the things that Tyra had taught us from America's Next Top Model on how to smile and smile with your eyes and all of that. But I was still really nervous, but it was fun. The pictures came back. They were amazing. This amazing photographer named Savannah did my pictures. I've tagged her on my Facebook and my Instagram if you would like to book her. It was amazing. I had a lot of fun, and that was in part Tiger's Valentine's Day gift from me, was those photos. So yeah, and then he got me, a real rose dipped in rose gold, real rose gold. It is so pretty. He's going to put up shelves for me so I can, put it on a shelf. But it was so pretty because he knows that rose gold is my favorite color of pink. And then he got me a arm, shoulder, and back massager to help when my fibromyalgia flares up. And then a lot of you know that I'm obsessed with Bob's Burgers, and I've been collecting the Funko characters. I think Tiger's actually bought me every one. So he got me a Gale and Mr. Business. So yeah, just lots of, hard and, good things going on right now, I guess. It's today is February 16th, so the last day of the snake year for any of you that are like spiritual or follow stuff like that. Tomorrow starts the first day of the fire horse year. I'm definitely feeling it. I've been feeling it for the past week. This transition, the snake year was a big one for me. It lasted 9 years, but I don't think that it really, really got to me and really tested me and stripped me down to my core until over 2 years ago. And I also wasn't in tune or aware or spiritual or anything. So even if I was going through some sort of transformation or stripping away or, shedding, I wouldn't have been aware. I wouldn't have had that higher level of awareness to even know. And that didn't come around until it started to surface in 2023, but it didn't start to really propel forward and really make me pay attention until 2024, around September 2024 to be exact. And so then my awareness has been heightened several times since then. And so I'm very sensitive to the transitional shifts of the planets and the Mercury retrogrades and, the different, planetary shifts and the year of, a different animal. So yeah, I've definitely been feeling the transition. I definitely did a lot of shedding and peeling away of my former self, especially in these past 2 years. That's part of the reason why it was so painful, because I was grieving and letting go and shedding of an old timeline, old identity, and so I was really grieving me and the old me, letting go of my former self. And so I've gotten to the other side of that transition and have come back to myself, my new self, my elevated higher self. And it was definitely a ride. Very painful. Ego death, all of that. So I definitely did some transitioning and shedding of a former life, former self, all of that in this past 2 years. So I am very ready to walk into the year of the fire horse and embrace all that has to offer. So we shall see. I'm nervous but excited. I've had a lot of excited giddy energy shooting through me lately. So yeah, I'm looking forward to stepping into the year of the fire horse for sure. So I wanted to focus this podcast episode around happiness, because just based off some conversations that I've had with Tiger recently or in the past, happiness. We all want to be happy. At the end of the day, we all want to be happy. But how often do we ask ourselves, are you happy? Like, are you happy in your current life, current situation, current relationship, current job, current whatever? Are you happy? Like, are you truly happy? Like, can you go inward and sit with yourself, sit in that uncomfortable but necessary space of silence, and dig deep and determine if you are truly happy? Or have you been stagnant? Have you been settling? Like, are you truly happy with your life currently? Tiger and I got into kind of like, not an argument, but like a disagreement. I don't even remember when it was, because he believes that money solves all your problems. He believes that money makes everything better. And he really thinks that if he was rich, all his problems would just vanish. And I was trying to convey to him that that's not true. That money is a distraction. Money is a distraction, for lack of a better word. It's a distraction, because for that first little while you're enjoying having all that money and buying whatever you want and going wherever you want, eventually life will catch up with you. Eventually your demons will catch up with you, your trauma, your inner child. Like, it all eventually catches up to you. And it doesn't matter how rich you are, how much money you have, what things you have, none of that will matter. I mean, and I tried to use like celebrities as an example, because he's always had a hard time understanding that and not being able to resonate with, like, how are you so rich but you're miserable, or how are you so rich but you still killed yourself or unalived yourself? And I'm like, and it drives me crazy, because I'm like, how are you not understanding this? Like how does that not resonate for you, that somebody could have all the money in the world and all the yachts and all the, islands or places or clothes or houses or cars, whatever, 12 girlfriends? Like, how can you not understand how someone can have all that and still be lonely, still be sad, still be angry, and still dealing with unresolved trauma? It's because those things don't go away. None of it goes away. It gets silenced. It gets, pushed to the back, because the life you're living and the money you're spending becomes a distraction. But when it's quiet and you're left with just yourself and your thoughts, all the things that have ever hurt you, broke your heart, made you cry, made you angry, whatever you lost, whatever trauma you endured in your childhood, that's all going to resurface. It's all going to resurface. So there's no way that something as free-flowing energy that is money, and it doesn't belong to any of us. It's a free-flowing current of energy. And sometimes you have a lot, sometimes you have a little, sometimes you have none. But it belongs to none of us. But it's not here to solve any of our problems. Maybe some, but not all. Like, if you've been in debt and then you come into a bunch of money and you're able to pay off that debt, sure, that sum of money maybe had solved your debt problems. But it probably didn't solve the problems, at your job, or the problems with your spouse, the problems with your family. You just paid off some debt, and that sum of money helped with that. you know? And so he is like lots of men who waste lots of time comparing. And we know comparison is a thief of joy, and Tiger has a hard time with that, where he will be like, oh, well, I'll never have a nice truck like that guy has, or I'll never have this, or I'll never have that. And I'm just like, you spend so much time fixated on what you don't have that you frequently miss all the gifts that you have right in front of you. And I mean, that's a very human thing to do. I don't fault him, but I do wish that he would slow down and quiet his mind and just kind of marvel and look around in what he has and what he's achieved and what he's created and all he has. Like, I have to constantly remind him, like, look at our kids. Like, they want for nothing. These are happy, healthy, thriving kids. You know, like, we did that. You know, so like, focus on that. Don't focus on the fact that you don't have that truck over there, or we may not own the house that we live in, or whatever. Like, we're here, we're healthy, we have a roof over our head, we have food, like, our kids are happy, we're happy. Focus on that, you know? And so I was thinking about that conversation that I'd had with Tiger this morning, even though we had this conversation months ago. But Tiger and I had a different conversation last night. I don't want to share too much of his business, but I mean, he's been struggling with like past trauma for the past couple months. That's just stuff that resurfaced, or stuff that he's feeling for the first time that he never thought about or never cared about before. And now it's coming up. Like, now it's starting to catch up, whether it's his inner child trying to break through and communicate to him, whatever it is, he's been struggling. And it kind of triggered a thought in my mind as he was talking to me last night. And I was thinking, money, like love, is kind of the same thing. Love can also be a distraction, because, and like, hang on, what I mean is, so I had problems when Tiger and I first got together. I had just gotten laid off from a job, and I was living off of severance pay, but I'm a single mom. I needed to hurry up and find a new job. I've always been very independent, wanting to take care of myself. So I was stressing during this time. But having Tiger in my life and having him come see me a few days a week, because I lived in Salt Lake City at the time, and so he would drive 45 minutes 2 days a week to see me and like spend the night. He was a wanted and needed distraction for me at that time. And then as soon as he would go home, whatever I was stressing or anxious about or worried about or sad about, it would all come rushing back. It would all come rushing back as soon as he left, as soon as that door shut and he got in his truck to drive home. It all just came back, and I just wanted to collapse. And I remember expressing that to him, that like, everything doesn't seem so bad when you're around. And so that's what I mean. Like, when you first get with somebody, you know, you have all the feel-good hormones, you know, going through your body for those first few months, that first year. So you're feeling amazing. Everything feels so much better when this person is around. They make everything better. Nothing seems quite so awful. And maybe like me, when that person leaves or when you leave to go home, that feeling of stress and dread and pain and anxiety comes back. But when you're around them, you're feeling good. You're feeling amazing. They're making life seem blissful. So a few years go by, you've been together for quite a while. Maybe you're married by now. Maybe you have kids. And it doesn't quite hit the same. Not that you don't love that person anymore or like them, or not that they don't make things better or make you feel better or still comfort you or hold you when you're upset, but they can't distract you from or quiet the real deep-seated stuff that's starting to come up, that's starting to surface or starting to revisit. That they were able to keep all of that away in the beginning, but now you've been together about 8 years or something, and it's just not the same. And you are being forced to confront and sit in that pain and that stress and that trauma and those memories that you thought that you forgot or didn't realize was stored in your body, because the body keeps scoring stuff. And so it kind of made me sad when he was expressing himself last night to me, that I was just like, wow, like when we first got together, I had the power to make his world feel so much better. And now, because we've now been together about 13 years, and not that those feel good hormones are gone, but it just doesn't hit the same like it did the first year. I can't take away his pain and distract him from it like I used to be able to. Just like money. In the beginning, money distracts you from it all and makes everything better. But then as time goes on and you get comfortable with money, just like you get comfortable with love, that power to be able to distract you falls away. And it probably should, because actually not probably, it should, because it just means that there's still work to be done. It means that you can't run or hide from stuff that you need to face forever. Like eventually you have to sit with it. Eventually you have to deal with those uncomfortable emotions and feelings. Eventually you have to purge, process, fill, and then heal it. And love or money can only keep you from doing that for so long. So yeah, that was just kind of what came to my mind. Like, I can sit with Tiger and cuddle him and tell him I love him and everything's going to be okay, but it's not going to hit like it did years ago. And that's okay. He's going to have to sit in it. He's going to have to feel it. He's going to have to be sad. He's going to have to be uncomfortable, because you can't heal what you don't reveal. You can't heal what you don't, bring out into the light, and it'll keep coming up for you. It doesn't matter how many new relationships you get in. It doesn't matter how much money you have. That stuff is gonna continue to come up. And sooner or later, you just have to stop running and confront it, But yeah, that was what I was getting with that, and how that all plays into like happiness, and are we really happy, because, for example, again, Tiger and I are learning that talk therapy is not for him. It isn't. It may work for other people, like it works for me, to an extent, but I had to go through lots and lots of therapists and tell my whole life story over and over and over again until I found someone that was a good fit for me. And so we're just currently trying to explore different avenues of what will help, because we're learning that talk therapy is it's not for him for a variety of reasons. And that's okay. We'll figure it out. But happiness, like, are we happy? Are we happy getting up in the morning and greeting the day, taking on the day? Are we happy with what we're currently doing with our life? Are we happy with the current job that we have? Are we happy with our current friend circle? Are we happy in our current relationship? Are we happy in our current extended family dynamics? Are we happy as we get through life every single day trying to parent and raise little humans? Like, and if we aren't happy, have we identified that and admitted that to ourselves? And what are we doing to mediate that? Are we looking into talk therapy? Are we looking into medication? Are we looking into taking up a new hobby? Sewing, book club, the gym, hiking, rock climbing, you know, and, inserting nightly walks into our day, you know, just an array of things. Are we branching out and trying to make friends? Like what are we doing? Are we donating? Are we helping in our community? Like, what are we doing to help us find our purpose and help us find our why, find our happiness, and if you are currently happy in your life and your relationship and your job and everything, I love that for you. I absolutely love that for you. I currently feel the same way. I still feel whatever I feel from day in and day out. But overall, like, I am living the life that I wanted. I am living the life that I hoped for. I'm always listening and hoping that the divine will tell me what else I'm meant to do and what my sole purpose and mission is. But currently, with the life that I have and the life I was given, the partner that I have, the job that I currently have, where we currently live, the dynamics of parenting my children, the friends that I have, the extracurricular activities that I, find myself involved in, whether it's, going out for drinks and doing bingo night on Tuesdays at about time and going to the gym, wine nights with my friends, what have you. Like, am I currently feeling whole and fulfilled in all aspects of my life? Yes, I would say so. It took me a long time to get back to this point, but yes, absolutely. Are there still things that could probably be tweaked a little bit, a little different? Are there still people that I wish were around, or people that I may miss, or people that I still talk to, or people I wonder about, or whatever? Yes and no. It really depends on the day. Like, for example, I miss my mom every day. I wish that she was still here with us. There are people that I fell out with or whatever and haven't talked to in a few years. Do I think about them? Occasionally. Do I miss them? It depends, but isn't enough for me to reach out and reconnect? At this point in time, no. And that's okay. I still wish them well. If I were to run into them, I would probably wave and, say hello. Always want good things for them. But in my current life, anybody that has walked out, I'm currently okay with that. Like, I have everybody that I currently want and need in my life. And yeah, I can say, as I sit here and assess myself, I am happy. Are there still things that make me sad or hurt me? Absolutely. I'm human. But overall, currently in my life, I am happy. But there's always room for improvement. For me personally, there's always room to be better than I was the day before. Did I include that I'm currently happy in my marriage? I don't think I did. I am. Every day is not rainbows and butterflies and unicorns, but it's not supposed to be. But I still love the ever-living shit out of Tiger, and he's still my favorite adult human, and we have a lot of fun. We have our days where we don't exactly talk to each other with love, more so on my side, because I can be a fucking asshole when I'm upset. I don't know how he puts up with me sometimes. I really don't, because I am extremely a grade A asshole. Absolutely. But he just continues to put up with me and love me anyway. And he knows me inside and out. So he's just equipped to handle me like nobody can. So, but again, there's always room for improvement on my end. Things that I can work on and be better at. communication, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so I am going to cut it here. I want to go to bed. I have work tomorrow, and I kind of just want to relax and be by myself and maybe watch a funny show or something. But I appreciate you for tuning in and listening, and I hope that you are also going to take some time to sit with yourself and see where you can make some room for improvement. Are you truly happy within your current life? And if not, what do you want to do to change it? Okay. Well, we'll see y'all in the next one. Remember, be fucking kind. We don't know what other people are going through. We don't. We absolutely do not. We don't know if they just lost somebody. We don't know if they've been grieving an ambiguous loss. We don't know if they lost someone to this, they no longer live on this plane anymore and they have passed on and they're grieving. We don't know if people just lost their job, or if they're struggling to find a job, or if their house is burnt down, or if they just, lost a child. We have no idea what people are going through. No idea. Maybe they just went through a really bad breakup. So just be kind. Just be kind. But yeah, love y'all.